We've got her out. Let's change the seal in this lift cylinder. It's actually pretty easy in these large frame 55 series. I think we can get it out without pulling the cylinder. On a 50 series, the servo valve is bolted on top of it. It's upside down now, so it would be the bottom from where we're looking at it. But there's O-rings under it and there's linkage to it, so to really, and then it's kind of squeezed in there more because the hydraulic pump is in here on those, and so it's a little bit more to get it out, and you really need to pull this, I think, out. I could be wrong. You might want to try it this way. So what we're going to start with, there's a clip. This is just a rod that holds the, not holds anything, it pushes. When the piston moves in here, pushes this rod, pushes this arm, rotates the shaft, lifts your 3-point hitch. This bolt here keeps it from falling out. Looks like a 9/16. Let's get it out of there. Okay, there is a snap ring in here, and it's dark, so I will get a light. And there is a wire snap ring in there, right there, to keep the piston from popping out. Although it really shouldn't be able to, but so we need to get that out first. Fairly well light. It's just a ring type, wire type snap ring. Nothing too terrible to get out. From here I need to pick a way to push some air in there. This is a relief valve, so that if once your servo is closed off and your 3-point has its position, there's basically no place for oil to go. So if your tractor hits a bump and your implement jumps up in the air and comes back down, it can create a lot of pressure and blow this baby out or something, blow a fitting out. So this relief valve is set so it opens up. By the 55 series, they have the problem of using the cast iron elbow taken care of. So that's not an issue. So I think I'm gonna disconnect here, the line, and blow air in through this fitting to push the piston out. I could take this one out, but then air could go through this one, and the servo valve's probably open, and then air is not gonna go where I want it to go and push the piston out. So let's do that. They tighten it down. Might have to get some kind of torque amplifier on my wrench. Or maybe I should go the route of the relief valve. Is that the same size? Yes, it is. All right, what the heck. Let's spin this off and maybe I can get enough air through this fitting to push it out. I mean, what's the worst case? I just have to thread it back in. Probably the seals are catching on that snap ring groove. Seems to be about right. Now what kind of thing can I do to make that jump over there? It's got a bevel cut going in so the seals don't get ripped up, but it's got to have that sharp edge coming out. so the snap ring catches. Oh, that's a little farther. I'm afraid it's going to shoot like a rocket and smash my fingers. What could I fill that groove with that would come back out easily? JB Weld. I suppose I could try packing it with grease. I don't really see where that would do it, but it's cheap. And that film of grease might give it enough to let the O-rings skip over and slide over. What the heck, I've tried crazier things. I don't recall there being a snap ring in the 50 series piston. I do believe this is the first 55 series one I've done. Generally they seal up and stay sealed up pretty good, but if your 3-point hitch is settling, especially on those earlier tractors, this is probably what's going on. Could be something in your servo valve, some connection in between. But you think about the number of times this piston's gone up and down in its lifetime. It's an O-ring and a backup washer, pretty simple, but it's still, they're sliding back and forth. They're gonna get stiff and, okay, I'm doing a better job of wiping it out than in. If we put some behind it, that'll push it into the groove too, I would think. Should look and see what the book says, but it probably says take that fitting out the back, put a punch through and drive it through. Let's see how that performs. Nope. Didn't get as far as before. A little farther. So now I just got grease in with everything else. I guess I need to put some kind of safety net over here and we'll just crank the pressure up and send her out. I'll have to think about that. I have some towels and whatnot in there to catch the piston if it comes flying out too fast. I'll put a little more air to it this time and see if I can get it to jump. Once again, no. Dang it. Okay, air pressure. Still no. I may have to read the book. I know what's going on is that O-ring is catching on that snap ring groove. Didn't really want to have to take the line off the back and try to drive it that way, but it is what it is. Still no. I suppose I could look at the book, see what they say. Well, all the book says to remove it is to take the cylinder out and knock it against a block of wood to get the piston to come out. I don't think that's doing any better or going to do any better than what I'm doing now. I think that's some of the ring right there. Definitely got to get her out now. Or maybe a couple more hits will finish it up. I figured out what's going on. I put the snap ring back in, and this is all the farther the piston will come out. This is a solution to a problem, because if the 3-point hitch gets out of adjustment and lifts too high, this can force against this, it can distort the housing and make it leak, or it can just out and out break the housing. So you don't want that to hit. So you want to be able to, when your 3-point hitch is all the way up, you still want to be able to lift it a little bit more by hand. And I put the snap ring back in. Piston hits the snap ring, and there is still room there. So what I need to do is look in a 2105 book, because that would have hopefully this in it, because all the 1855 book says is just knock the piston out with a block of wood, or knock the whole piston or cylinder against a block of wood until the piston falls out on another block of wood. But yeah, so I guess it's a kind of a good thing, because you can't adjust it too high anymore. The piston will just hit that snap ring and stop, and you'll make a lot of heat in your hydraulic system, because the relief valve is going to be blowing because it's still trying to lift and everything, but it won't break your housing. Well, the 2105 book says the same thing, other than take the snap ring out first, and then take the whole cylinder out and knock it against a block of wood to get that to come out. I can't imagine where that's any more effective than what I'm doing with the air. But maybe I underestimate the power of wood. I just don't see it. Well, definitely got to take the snap ring back out now, but at least I figured out what it was about. I learned something. Maybe you did too. Maybe you already knew. Well, you turn the camera off and the action happens. I just kept tapping it back in with a rubber mallet and putting air to it, so it kept going back and forth, and it finally sheared enough of that Teflon off, or whatever. I was about to give up on it because it wasn't like there was air leaking past it, but it's out now. It's going to get fixed, or replaced. Oh yeah, there's the, it sheared it off. There's the rest of it in the piston. And I don't think I got that when I ordered stuff. I think I got the O-ring and the backup washer. I'll dig through my stuff, but I might have to do some ordering to finish this baby up. Fortunately, I had the piston O-ring and Teflon seal on hand for this baby. And the O-ring goes in first. It supports the Teflon seal. Teflon isn't that bouncy, springy, so the rubber helps hold it out. And they say, and I'm going to do this, soak it in hot water. It'll make the Teflon a little more pliable, stretchable, go over a little easier, because it's a tight fit. And like I just mentioned, it doesn't have a lot of give, so I'll do that real quick. Then I'm going to flip this over just because it's a shorter distance to the actual groove from this end. And it kind of gets it started on the shallower part. I do have a couple extras, so I guess if I mess this one up, there. That wasn't too bad. I'll put some grease on it so she slides in good, and then I'm going to use my ring compressor to squeeze it down. Give it a couple minutes at that squeezed point to get back in there. There are tapers in that cylinder to help force that in, but every little bit helps. It should return to its original shape slowly but surely. It already feels like it's shrunk back down some. Leave a little bit to get started with. Probably should leave more. I'll let that sit and squeeze while I clean out the cylinder bore. A little more grease to help things slide. Yeah, it's chamfered around here to help get that seal in there. And then it's chamfered behind the steel, the land for the snap ring. I don't know, a little flecks of blue. That should be good. We can put the snap ring in. Yours might not have a snap ring. Let's get that out of the way. Get in there. There. Put this retainer on so the rod doesn't fall off. As you can see, it goes that way, the bend, because I can see where the bolt was on this side, not on that side. Probably need to turn it a wee bit to get that in there. I think this calls for some glove-free action. So when the GoPro decided to do bad things, it's actually easier to get it started first, then slip it in like so, then tighten it down. Click. That part's in. Then it's just a matter of screwing this relief valve back in, tightening that up. And there we have it. A resealed, sealed 3-point hitch lift cylinder. Not too bad on these 55 series once you can get that piston out, which, hey, enough back and forth with the air and a rubber hammer and eventually you'll win. I think that's easier than pulling the unit out. Probably less harmful than pulling the line and trying to go through there with a punch and drive it out. Just patience, that's all you need, patience. Well, I think we'll call that a video. Hopefully, even if you're not fixing one, you learn something, better understand how your Oliver works, or tractors in general. I don't know if there's other brands do things exactly the same, but the concept's the same. You gotta have, you got a rock shaft, something's gotta turn it. You're using hydraulic oil, you gotta have a piston. The details are different, but the general idea is the same. So as always, I appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks again.